What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Sly Jordy, and welcome back to F1 23 My Team Career Mode for the Monaco Grand Prix. And if you missed out on last episode, you weren't really missing out on much, to be honest, except the fact that we lost our grip on the top of the championship of the driver standings, overtaken by our teammate George Russell. The Imola Grand Prix was an absolute disaster, and not through any fault of ours. The AI around Imola is broken. We know they're aggressive, okay, which is fine. I liked that. Imola became one of my favorite races to do because of that. But recently we turned the AI level from 95 up to 97, and the straight line speed on our second stint against pretty much anybody was just absolutely ridiculous. It got to the point where I think even some of the back markers were quicker than us by the time we came out the pits a second time after our crash. So yeah, we'll let bygones be bygones. We've turned the difficulty back down to 95, and that's where it's going to stay probably forever. Like, I might end up genuinely, just when we get to F1 24, keeping it on 95 as well. 95, I feel as though it might be the right difficulty. My team has just gotten a little bit frustrating with how easy it is getting, of course. I mean, look at the constructor standings, for example. Like, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I think in future games we won't carry the My Team so far into, like, through the seasons, I don't think. I think we'll do, like, 3 seasons, because after season 3, that was where I was, like, kind of losing interest in doing the My Team career, to be quite honest. So obviously season 5 is where we're ending it, but I think in future games we'll do 3 seasons of My Team, and then if we're doing any more seasons in the career mode, we'll leave that exclusive to driver career mode, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, because at least then, if the game gets too easy at a certain team, we can just switch teams, you know, so it wouldn't be that much of a big deal. So yeah. Next up is the Monaco Grand Prix, which we have a pretty good record at. The last time we did Monaco was a couple of seasons ago, back in season 3, where we won. We won at Monaco there, we won at Monaco in season 2, and we won at Monaco in season 1. It was our only win of the season. Oh, and Brazil, I forgot about Brazil. But yeah, Monaco has historically been a really good track for us, so I'm quite confident heading into this. We've never not won a Monaco Grand Prix, and Monaco's made it a lot easier because I'm pretty good at overtaking around Monaco in the game somehow, so that's always dope. So I think we could definitely use that to our advantage, but now we need to remain a bit more vigilant, not just of Russell, but for the guys behind us, around us, like Verstappen, for example. They're not that far off. You know, just a couple of wins for them, boom. But I don't think they'll get it, because me and Russell have just been so consistent. Like, other than Baku and China, it's just been, you know, well, get rid of that. Like, we've been the best car pretty much across the entire season. It just really comes down to individual performances and pit strategy where we actually place on the race. But as you can tell from our top 2 and our performances so far, yeah, it's been quite dominating. We've, again, like, I mean, look at the constructors. We've clearly got the best car on out of the field. Of course, other teams are catching up. We know McLaren are. McLaren had a great start to the race at Imola, and they did end up getting a double podium for themselves. So we do need to keep an eye on that. We are only 7 rounds into the season, technically 6 rounds, as we've not done the 7th just yet. So anything can change. They can obviously catch up in that time if we drop the ball, so me and George just have to remain consistent, and hopefully we can remain consistently ahead of George, as yeah, I don't mind if we lose the championship in our final season, as long as it is to Russell, but yeah, I want to win. I want to win the championship for a 4th time in a row. We currently have 3 drivers' championships, 2 constructors. We're hoping to turn that into 4-3. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into actually putting in a new gearbox. First things first, we've done over 300 laps on the first gearbox. It's time to switch that out. Every other component is pretty fine, and even if they weren't, we know Monaco Well, it's hard to overtake, isn't it? So, you know, I've got into... I knew this was going to happen. I won the rivalry with Leclerc, and I just... Can you stop telling me every time about a rivalry? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Alright, whatever. There you go. So, without further ado, let's go to Monaco and see if we can keep up our perfect record. This is a beautiful opportunity, the perfect opportunity for us to regain the lead of the championship. Let's do it. And once again, I am a little disappointed. We do have rain this weekend, but unfortunately, it's only in FP3, and nobody cares. Nobody does FP3 in the game. A lot of us skip it anyway. But let's have a look at the progress history and see who's made any big upgrades, and it looks as though only McLaren have. McLaren are now equal to us, I think. Yeah, so... they're still behind us in the R&D chart, but they're pretty much level with us. So are Red Bull, or they might just be off. I don't know, but yeah, everybody's now essentially going to stagnate at this point, at least between me, McLaren, and Red Bull. Those are the cars to look out for. Aston Martin got a good car as well. Don't exactly have world-class drivers to back it up as good as Lance Stroll has been in our career mode. He was really good in Season 3. He could have won the championship in Season 3, but his inconsistency lost him the spot at our team in Season 4. So we know he's inconsistent. Théo Pourchaire isn't quite up there just yet, and Ferrari don't quite have the car for it yet. They need to put in a extra upgrade. Mercedes not there neither. Alpine, and then the bottom four teams, obviously. I don't think they can upgrade anymore. I think they're literally at their maximum, unfortunately, which sucks. Because they've stagnated the whole way through. So obviously their facilities are limited, and so their upgrades are also limited, which means, yeah, no chance for them to regain anything, which makes the prospect of career modes in future a little more disappointing, probably, most likely, unless we turn down the difficulty, I suppose, in future seasons in the next game, for the bottom four teams to, you know, keep up and get good points. Who knows, but yeah, this is definitely an issue in the career mode, that's for sure. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into Monaco qualifying. I mean, I'm going to do the first practice just to get myself up to speed, but yeah, I am itching to redeem myself after Imola, so yeah, let's do it. Well, here we go, guys. Qualifying for the Monaco Grand Prix is underway. We have not suffered a single non-P1 around this track since Season 1. I don't know what it is, but the AI have really been, like, dumbed down for this track in particular. To the, you know, like, it basically just all comes down to where you drive, and how well you drive, and I really like that. Of course, there are particular corners on here that, you know, you can really push to the edge of track limits, as you will see pretty soon. But, yeah, other than that, I really like how this track is fully open to whoever is essentially the best driver around the track. I really like that. You know, no other track in the game does that, to my knowledge, and to, like, on, you know, from the top of my head. Except Monaco, and that's why I like it very much. But if we're going to lose in any season, it might just be this one. A lot of the cars have clearly, a lot of the other teams have clearly caught up to us. I mean, that was the case in Season 1, but now we have a person in the same car who's actually, you know, just as fast as us, if not quicker on certain tracks. And after our second lap around the track, it's only good enough for P12. Like, a lot of the track is evolving here. A lot of the teams are getting a lot better here. Even though our last lap was 6/10 quicker, we still were not able with stats still only worth P12, which is absolutely crazy. So here we are for our final lap in Monaco qualifying. This will be the final qualifying lap you see on this track in F1 23 on the channel. And so far, so good. We're almost 2/10 up. We are now over 2/10 up, so that was a great corner. All the way up to 3/10 up as we work our way around the hairpin. What a brilliant section that was. To the point now we're almost up to 5/10. So that's how much of a key difference that track evolution really shows. And yeah, even for short qualifying, this is absolutely crazy. But we make our way through. And now we're at like 5/10 as we enter Sector 3, the final sector. That was a purple Sector 2, so this is looking absolutely incredible as we enter the final few corners. Really slow down the car, entering the final corner. We take a little bit of a bump on the ramp. That might cost us a little bit of time, but it's almost 7/10 up as we cross the line to take pole position. Just a 10th. Literally like a 10th ahead of our teammate, actually. I say just a 10th. That's actually quite a bit. So yeah, our record around Monaco stays intact. Of course, I think for the last couple of seasons we didn't hit pole position, but we did this time. So let's see if we can convert it into a win.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. It's the owner-driver then in pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Norris, Gasly, Leclerc, Bottas, Stroll, Verstappen, Théo Pourchaire, Sainz, Perez, Ocon, Albon, Drugovich, Liam Lawson, Deruvala, Magnussen, De Vries, Sargent, and Zhou Guanyu. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Well, here we go for the final time in Monaco. I mean, I'm pretty much saying that every episode. Oh, it's the final time around this track or that track, you know, whatever. And it probably won't be. I'm really thinking about doing a final live stream of F1 23 before we uninstall the game and start waiting for F1 24. I do want a little break from F1 content before we really get into 24, because we're going to do a lot on that. But yeah, strategy's done. Formation lap.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Anyone who has ever qualified Monaco pole position has got to feel really confident, knowing how difficult it is to overtake around this track. Essentially, the only thing stopping you from winning Monaco is how close you get to the walls and your strategy, your pit strategy. Other than that, it should be a surefire win. And I guess at the race start, also, you can make some overtakes. But after that, once you get settled in to where you are on the grid, that's it. It could all be set, game and match. But we go up to 5 red lights, and we are underway, and it's a bad start from George Russell, who's fallen to P3. Our teammate has fallen to P3, and Oscar Piastri's P2. Russell is fighting with Lando Norris. He manages to just keep ahead, thank God. But yeah, Oscar Piastri has made a brilliant start. He has been driving really well with that McLaren recently, and I think it's only a matter of time until he's able to pick up a win. We've really got to, be at our best here. Not just here, but also other tracks, as Piastri's McLaren has definitely improved. Yuki Tsunoda has improved as well. He didn't have the greatest of starts. He remains pretty much where he is, but Lando Norris in that Mercedes, very, very close to getting a P3. But as you can tell, Russell's already almost gapped Norris by a little bit. Piastri's gapped him, and I'm gapping Piastri just a little bit, but Piastri is keeping up really close shave with the wall from us right there. But this is where we're looking to settle in for the next few laps until our pit strategy, until our pit stop. And so, yeah, let's get comfortable as we cross the line to kick off our second lap. We, however, are going to skip ahead to lap 6 as there was no trouble. George Russell has actually caught up to us here. He's in P3, so it's a very close little train here, and perhaps they're quicker than us as Piastri gets really close to our rear end there. Yeah, maybe our pace around here isn't as good, and yeah, that just makes qualifying on pole all the more important. Even if, your pace isn't the greatest. We've said that for ages, particularly in Season 1, because, yeah, we were the slowest car on the grid, and, we were able to keep the win because we were able to keep cars behind us. But this might be an issue, of course. We have a lot of front tyre, not necessarily wear, but overheating a lot, because we're losing grip on the front even before we got up to this amount of tyre wear, as we are already skipping ahead to lap 12. And that's really the trouble with the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm really debating maybe live streaming the Monaco Grand Prix in F124 every time we do it, because, man, there really is not much there. But I mean, look at how overheated that left tyre is, that front left. The front right is a bit overheated as well, but I've never really ran into this in any track, to be honest, this much tyre overheating. But Monaco in Season 5, definitely running into it there. Piastri is keeping up with us the whole time, and I guarantee that is the reason why, as we make our way through a pretty tricky section, but one that you can really push the track limits on, at least when you have them on standard anyway, which really does help in these Grand Prix. It does give you just I think it might even get you up to a 10th, depending if you do it correctly, but it's not really helping us the greatest here, as we have a lot of tyre wear, and yeah, this is a bad situation. George Russell still going out ahead, but me and Oscar Piastri are pitting on the same lap here, so I'm counting on my crew to give us a good pit stop. They usually do, but you never know. But we're going on the hards because of the amount of tyre wear that we had on the front. This is the only logical conclusion, as Liam Lawson in the Haas overtakes us here as we come out of the pits. But our former teammate Felipe Drugovich gets in between us and Oscar Piastri. So maybe our former teammate from Season 1, from the first half of Season 1 and the first half of Season 2 could really help us here against Oscar by holding him back because of how much tyre wear he has. And of course Liam Lawson is holding us back as well. He's barely making it through the corner. He clearly has a lot of tyre wear, as we're essentially pushing him through these corners. And now I'm going to use ERS in the hopes of overtaking him as we reach the end of this tunnel, of course. Liam Lawson's going to move to the right. We're going to dive bomb down the left, give him as much space as possible as we make the overtake around the outside. George Russell enters the pits, so hopefully he comes out in a good spot, but with Lawson and Djokovic between me and Piastri, this is great. This has given us so much, you know, great time that we can use to remain ahead in this Monaco Grand Prix. Not that we'd have much trouble anyway, of course it is very difficult to overtake, but you never know when the AI might try something, so this gives us a lot of amazing time. And because of all that, because of Lawson and Djokovic essentially holding back Piastri, Russell has actually been able to undercut Piastri here. So lap 15, we're basically in a net P1 with Russell following close behind. Bottas pits, and so we are going to overtake him into P1 here. Very long stint for the Mercedes of Valtteri right there. He'll be going on to the hards, which doesn't make any sense for me. I feel like it would have made more sense had he gone onto the softs for about 12 laps like we did. I don't know. Other cars work differently. I don't know what Mercedes' situation is, but yeah, here we are with 4 seconds ahead of Piastri as we are now on lap 16, and this has been a great strategy from the team, and a little bit of luck involved too with Felipe Drugovich coming out of the pits. Oh well, passing us, well, not like passing Piastri as he came out of the pits. And so that's basically given us the win. Yes, Piastri has caught up as we move on to the final lap now, but yeah, it's all pretty much wrapped up, and I'm sorry for how short the episode is, but yeah, you guys probably don't want to see driving the whole time. Just basically hot lapping. That literally, like, I could upload a video of time trial and it would have a similar effect. So that's why we've edited this so short here. So perhaps in future games we will live stream the Monaco Grand Prix instead. I feel like that could be a good idea. If anyone is watching and hears that, let me know what you think of that idea in the comments below. But yeah, a really good race and exactly what we needed after what happened in Imola, of course. And so yeah, looking forward to the Spanish Grand Prix, definitely. And that's where we'll get a nice indication of where we really are after a lot of these teams have brought upgrades in. But we come round the last couple of corners to once again take another win in the Monaco Grand Prix. A perfect record has been cemented around this track.
Fantastic drive, that's just fantastic, amazing, you deserve that race win. Well done, mate.
It wasn't always plain sailing today, but it was a very important win nonetheless. Tell me, Ant, how do they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
Well, again, as I said earlier, after what happened at Imola, this is exactly what we needed. And again, I was feeling very confident going into this Grand Prix, and for good reason. I'm pretty good at this track against the AI. And yeah, in the race, I'm pretty good as well. So there you go. I mean, that's up for debate because, again, it is very difficult to overtake around Monaco. So as long as you, like I said, as long as you qualify pole, you've got a huge advantage over the rest of the field. And so that's essentially all that matters. So yeah, let's see where we are in the standings. Let's see if there was any surprising finishes as we come up to the leaderboard now. Man, I really wish I'd have skipped through this podium pass quicker. But there you go, there you have it. So we got Oscar Piastri, we got the 2 McLarens 3-4, so they are looking strong. The 2 Mercedes 3-4, and now we are only 1 point behind our teammate George Russell in the standings, which is great. That's exactly what we've needed. 149 points ahead of the rest of the field, so this is basically season 3 all over again. But this time even worse, because George Russell is a lot better of a driver than Lance Stroll is, that's for sure. But Max Verstappen placing as low as P9, Red Bull only taking home 2 points from this. Théo Pourchaire gets a P10, Lance Stroll right behind him. So a good race for Théo right there. It's good to see Théo doing well, even though he did awful for us in the second half of the season 1, but that couldn't have been helped with the car that we had at the time, and even in Season 2 it couldn't have really been helped that much. So I always wonder what could have happened if we had Théo Pourchaire or Felipe Drugovich in the Season 3 onwards car, you know? Definitely something to think about. But yeah, that's the end of this episode of F123 My Team. If you guys liked it, be sure to hit that like button as hard as you possibly can, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Until next time, peace.